right, Kristen, check it out. Listen, we got a legend. We got a local legend in here.
Local legend, one of my favorites.
Mr. Jesse Wykle right here from Aloha Snacks.
Yeah.
If you all know,
I don't know about that. We got two legends right
Listen,
here.
hold on. You can't cap out. You can't tap out of this.
He tries to be understated. He's moved on from the more famous chef world into this understated presence of being that is you now.
Oh,
because hold on a minute. Here, hold on.
Teaming me now.
Now listen, you can't. If someone says you're a legend, you just roll it. You don't unlegendize yourself. You can't.
Fair enough.
You can't be unlegendary.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's like, once you slap someone in the face, you can't unslap them. You have to work with it after that.
You got to deal with the sting.
You know what I mean?
Just deal with the pain. It's fine.
Talk about what
It's
slaps.
It's in love.
This.
Right?
This
does
slaps.
slap.
I mean, this is gorgeous.
So
I can't believe it.
We use the word legendary. Tell us she started something at the beginning of this conversation real quick. You just said it a minute ago. You worked your ways up to where you can actually be where you are now, right?
Well, you worked your way up to work your way to the life you wanted. So the reason I love you and I wanted to have you on the show is because there's a lot of underrated people in this area that people don't really know about or don't know their history in the culinary space. And you're one of those people. I think people love Aloha Snacks, the Virginia Beach. The food is great, but that's not where you started. And people don't realize your actual trajectory of training and where you were in the chef world before that restaurant. And that was part of the reason I wanted you to be here to kind of share that.
Well, first, before you go deep, do this. Explain what Aloha Snacks is, because there's a lot of people that watch us from all over the world. And we have our following is reaching well past our area. So give us a quick rundown on what your vision and what your inspiration for Aloha Snacks is.
Well, I got to tell you first, man, working my way up to work my way out. I mean, this business is not for everybody.
And not for all.
Man, this thing is nuts. Sometimes I have, you wake up and you got these terrible dreams. You're like, oh my God, the water's been running, orders didn't come in, and you're like, is it a dream? Is it reality? I know you've had those.
I had one last night.
Mine are always not being able to get water to the tables. Yeah.
Actually, you want to know what it was?
Oh, God.
And it came true.
Oh, no.
I had a dream that my friggin' delivery people were coming in here and they couldn't get in, and we needed everything because it was a big day, and I got here today, and there was a friggin' delivery driver outside waiting to get in. Crazy. He shouldn't have been here.
And they come whenever they want, don't they?
Yeah. Don't worry about the invoice and what it says, because that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So you started, Aloha Snacks. Why the name? Why the inspiration? It's all a lot of tuna, a lot of Hawaiian fuse, a lot of sea stuff.
So we got you in there the
other
other
day. You have the musubi,
like
the spam.
Oh yeah.
It's a kind of a fine-tuned restaurant, fast casual spin on Hawaii and everything that we love out there in the islands. Paying homage to the people and the places that we've traveled to, enjoyed the food and the cuisine, and put it on a compostable paper plate. Taking some of the arrogance out of the restaurant. We're wearing Nike tennis shoes to work and shorts, and cutting up some of the finest tuna in the world.
It's casual as all get out, but the food is not.
The food is not.
It's
elevated.
And we got our little pickup window, which I love.
Exactly.
It's
so
cute.
We were talking before, and we were talking about how such far reaches now. It's much easier to get regional food. You have a lot of inspiration from Hawaii, but it really, in turn, I mean, it is a lot of Virginia Beach cuisine, really. I mean, a lot of that, over the years, that stuff is kind of melded together. And you guys are really putting it out that way with a lot of, I would say, Pacific infusion, right? Is that right to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a melting pot in Virginia Beach, and comfort food could be pad thai. Yeah. And it's crazy that we've come this far.
Right.
And
whereas comfort food would be pulled barbecue or something. Now it's
you've got
pad
comfort
thai.
food items on your menu,
Sure, absolutely have to, because it's comfortable.
The pizza.
It's comfortable. Who doesn't want to be comfortable, bro?
Well, we eat food to be happy.
Yeah, no one goes to have a shitty time. No one wants to be uncomfortable.
But see, you got to go outside of your realm and be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Too.
Sometimes.
In
a creative process
that could be
Chesapeake.
happens.
Yeah. It is. But let me tell you something. In the creative process, when chefs creating food, a lot of that is uncomfortable because you don't know what the reaction you're going to get from it. True. And until someone starts eating it and liking it, then the comfortability comes into it. But
Chef,
it is uncomfortable.
Chef, we had no idea that Aloha Snacks would fly. I mean, we didn't know.
Right.
So you just roll the dice.
So how long has it been there now? How long have you had that restaurant?
7.5 years.
Okay, so
came from Zoe's.
Yeah.
Fine dining. You were a fine dining chef.
Yeah, the last dinner we did was a $100,000 dinner. It was a Schaefer, 8 vertical. I mean, hillside, sunspot. It was crazy.
Sure. And Schaefer ain't a joke anyway. That's already that right there, just to match the food as a chef to that quality of wine is some of the struggles we come with. A fun one. a creative one, but you have to be creative and you have to think and you have to have skill to be able to match what's in that bottle.
That's right.
We can't make that bottle look shitty or make that bottle make our food look so much. It can't be so much better than our food that we have to match what's in that fucking bottle, if not beat it, you know?
Amen.
That's how I look at
Amen.
it. You know, the better the wine for a wine dinner to me is the better the food I'm going to put out so I can keep up to the caliber of that rating on that bottle.
And it's a marriage, you know, you got to be able to bring out all the tannins and the fruits of that bottle, you know, and not overpower it. And, you know, I see y'all's wine list and I mean, dude, let's crack some. I mean, it's just
He's like, I'm ready.
do that any minute.
Pop some
looks
bottles.
delicious.
We can do that. We can have a glass of wine right now if you want.
We can totally do that.
I love it.
So let me say this: you have some experience under your belt. You have a good resume. You have a good accolade. So tell everybody about. People want to hear that shit. You were working with Bobby Flay and them guys, weren't you? You were on TV. You were on the Food Network and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, it started with the James Beard house. I was the youngest in Virginia to be able to, you know, I was chosen to cook at the Beard house. And I mean, what an honor. Once you've done that, I think there's a pool or some names that they gravitate towards that kind of funnels you through the Food Network and whatever shows they want you to go on. And so that's how we got on the Beat Bobby Flay show.
So talk about that show, man. People want to hear about this stuff.
You know, I mean,
they love the behind the scenes
It
stuff.
was kind of crazy, honestly. I guess the casting, you know.
Well, they want to know. Do they
Well,
tell you to be a dick? Do they tell you to
ever
like?
smoke pot? I'm like, I mean, are y'all the feds? What's going on with the Bobby Flay show? I mean, why would they ask that?
Right.
And then as we're going through, you know, the menu, and they're like, "What would you make?" And they've done how many seasons at a time? Like 27 seasons. They've literally made everything, Kristen. Wow. They were like, "How about chicken parm?" And I'm like, how about not?
Yeah,
I was like, we're not
creative
banging
on
out
this show.
chicken parm at Aloha
Boring.
Snacks. I was like, all right, so poke, bulgogi cheesesteak, you know, burgers, all that had been done. And then I was like, boom, lumpia. And that was Bobby's kryptonite, his Asian food. He just blanked. He was like, what?
I wouldn't. You know what though? I wouldn't be. I'd be with him in that because I would kind of blank out on Asian food. I love to eat it, but
it's
I
a
never.
spring roll.
Yeah, but you do yours different. Yours is different than a
We like the
traditional lumpia.
XL. We like the XL.
Yeah,
you know?
you do like the real elevated version of it, and it's not the traditional, just the beef, the ground beef, and you have a lot going in on yours.
Yeah,
Is that what you made on the
pork.
show?
Yeah, it's the local pork. Yep.
Is that so the lumpia that's on your menu? Is that the
That's
one
what I
you
went
made?
against Bobby.
So when you're on the show with Bobby,
Wow.
how was that? Was it fun? Was a lot of jokes going on? You're a humorous guy. You like to have fun. You like to.
All right, so you want the whole story.
I
Was
want
it
a story.
sarcasm?
Yeah.
Was there?
Well, look,
yeah.
we got to start about the night before because my
Okay.
wife and I went up and we just raged. I mean,
That's
maybe
what we wanna
maybe I
hear.
was wound tighter than a $2 watch or whatever it was, but we went up that night and I mean, I don't know, 4 a.m. rolls up and we're like, dude, we kind of got to like get dialed in for the show, you know?
So it's 4 a.m. You're going on set.
And there's
having no idea.
this
next
cab
day.
driver. There's this cab driver that dude. I mean, he was out of like the Jetsons, just flying. And I mean, he must have clipped 2 cars. I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna die in New York City.
Perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, 4 a.m. rolls in. I'm getting texts from Food Network probably around 6. Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours
of
of sleep.
And they're like telling me which shirt to wear. So we show up. We're filming in Harlem. We
Did
show
they
up-
give you a bunch of shirt options to bring?
No, I brought some. I mean, whatever. Had like this old Jamaican you know, tuna shirt, whatever. I was like, let's do it.
So you.
Yeah.
I had like maybe one button, you know, and probably rolled in looking like freaking
Rough.
hobo out of
Yeah,
Virginia
yeah.
Beach. Who knows?
Like you just left the plug.
There's a chef contestant room, and all the chefs are like, just walking around. I'm like, oh my God, you know, this shit is real.
Yeah.
And then it's
So
kind of like the movie.
were they the chefs on the show competing with you?
Well, they're like fill-ins too. They're like other chefs, like ready to just drop and roll.
Yeah.
And then it's like the movie Gladiator. You could hear Bobby was already filming. It's what a beast he is. He's already filming another show at like it was 7 or 8 in the morning, and the crowd's like, oh, and you're like, oh my God. I mean, the anxiety was.
They had a live crowd out there.
Oh, it's like a stadium.
You had
Yeah,
that for yours,
yeah.
so that you could hear.
And I
oh,
had my
gosh.
wife up there. You know, so she's yelling at me the whole time.
So you're getting nervous at this point. Now it's
Throwing
real.
things
Yeah, I
at
love
you.
you, darling. I know she's gonna be watching this.
And you're
I love
hungover.
it.
So whatever. Then we go up. I go against this other chef out of New York City, and they're talking about like our intro, and he was gonna like say something in Portugal, and they're like, "What are you gonna do, ukulele man?" And I was like, "Cause I brought my ukulele. They wanted me to. I wrote a song for Bobby actually.
So you have a lot of Hawaiian. This is ukulele
So, like-
Hawaiian. So you like Hawaii. Okay, we got it.
So I rolled out there and I just like pointed at Bobby with the ukulele. They're like, "Okay, this guy's a dud, probably." You know what I mean? So
Guy's out.
as we're kind of getting into the scene, it's like 2 kitchens, probably about the size of yours. So, I mean, pretty Mac Daddy. And this guy's like going through it all, trying to tell me about everything. And that's not how I learn. I'm like a visual, tangible. And I was just like, all right, man, you're just going to shut the fuck up. I was like, I can't concentrate. He's like, oh, you do you. We'll see what happens. I'm like, okay. So then whatever they come out, and it's Damaris Phillips and Sonny Anderson, and it's and Bobby, and it's like white beans. It's like cannellini white beans. So like for me, I mean, it was like canned white beans, and I'm like, no one's eating that shit. And then it was dried white beans, and I'm like, you can't. I mean, what do we got? 18, 20 minutes? I'm like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. And so I knew that old boy was going to go for a cassoulet. And I was like, I thought about doing a fritter, and we ended up just kind of playing it safe, going with a little salad. Had some guanciale croutons on there, and I think that's
Set it off.
That's for sure. But I did try to pickle the beans in like a little vinegar and sugar, and I boiled them some bitches for like 19 minutes hard. I mean, the pan was melting, and that bean was hard as a rock.
Still.
So at the end of the salad dish, after we had plated, I was kind of taking some of that liquid and just kind of splashing it over the salad, just a little acid, on the fatty bean that we had. I had a fatty vinaigrette and some bitter greens, and one of the beans fell on the plate. And I was like trying to blow that bitch off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No one's looking.
For sure. And so the guy came over, whatever the dude's got a headset or whatever. He was like trying to run this food or whatever. And he's like, "What's that?" I was like, "I don't know what that. Take that off." So he just wiped it off. I'm like,
nice.
Boom.
Oh, so
Perfect.
he snuck
So,
that in
because if I'd
there.
have put those beans on there, they'd have been like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break a tooth.
So then we went on to the second round with Bobby, and that's the juicy stuff you want to hear about. Bobby's short. Bobby's not tall. But Bobby is super cool. I mean,
just a
fun.
wisecracker.
so cool. And, when we're like kind of standing face to face and he wants to hear about like whatever dish I have, and they're like, they want me to like present on him, and I'm like, I don't know, it's Bobby, dude. He might come up on me. Even just, 5'4". I don't know. I'm 6'2". So I said lumpia, and he just glazed over. He's like, I don't even know what that is. So a Filipino chef, I go back over to my kitchen. This Filipino chef she rolls this motherfucking card out, and she starts showing him how to roll lumpia. And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
this shit out,
Wait a minute.
And
This
so
is
my
bullshit.
chef was like, bro, it's his kitchen. I'm like, look,
Still
I don't
bullshit.
care. At this point, I don't care if I win, lose, draw, as long as I beat the first guy, because I'd have been like, no, I wouldn't go there,
Right.
So
You
then
gotta beat somebody.
So we go on to Bobby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The goal is to challenge Bobby. Winning would be great, but at least you get to the level. That's
just
what you
hanging
want.
with him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of downtime. I mean, while we were sitting up there, they'd have to film a segment. They didn't like it. They'd have to refilm it. And Bobby's just sitting there on his phone, just, God knows what employee walked out on him.
He was,
with the same
he was
thing.
Googling lumpia.
I would like to
Googling
think
lumpia,
he's
bro.
dealing with the same problems you and I are dealing with, which is
I
like
think
the
he was
hiring
Googling lumpia.
Yeah. He's probably Googling. That's
AI
okay.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I do?
So I looked at Bobby and I go, and I don't know what possessed me to say this, but I was like, Bobby, you sick of this shit? And he looks up and he goes, I'm so sick of it. And I was like, so tell me more.
Yeah, right.
Tell me more, Bob. And he's like, cookbooks, restaurants, staffing issues. I film 2 shows a day. He's like, it just never stops. And I was like, that's cool. So I just I didn't say anything. And maybe like a couple minutes later, I was like, hey, I'd love to buy you like a beer and a shot afterwards or something. Just kind of pick your brain on, you're like the Elon Musk of the restaurant business. How do you do it? And he goes, a shit ton of assistants. I'm like, fair enough.
Hire well.
So then the show goes on and we have a great time, and I'll tell you more about that. But afterwards he came over and, my wife's up there yelling, and I know she was about to freaking pass out. And he goes, hey, so what are you and your wife doing later? And I was like, nothing. He goes, I want to have y'all to Gato. So he invited us over to his Spanish restaurant,
That's
Gato,
amazing, man.
which was
That's great.
He said, I was like, you do this with all the winners, huh? And he's like, I've never hung out
Did
with
you beat
anybody.
him?
I beat him.
You
Yeah.
beat Bobby Flay.
Beat him.
Here we go. We beat him with the lumpia, and his
You beat him with the
little
lumpia.
lumpia roller didn't have what it took.
Yeah.
To get the Aloha snack action.
And the Aloha Snack features it still.
So the
I've had it.
judges
It's
from
damn
the
good.
first round, that's right. The judges from the first round end up being like kind of in my corner in the second round because they have like these restaurant judges, And I think it was like Sonny Anderson's like, what can we get you? I was like, cold beer. I need an equalizer at this.
want a
You know,
beer.
'cause let's go back to the night before,
Alcohol.
4 a.m., right? So I was
Right.
like, cold beer. And then at that point, I guess I wound up with a ukulele in my hand, and I started singing Bobby a song like Chili Pepper Paste all up in my face.
Nice. So now,
Aromatic static pork belly mace. Dude, and he
you got
lost
the
it.
spitting.
Dude, he
He's
lost
spitting
it.
over here.
Oh my God, I
So-
love it.
So let me after
With
you're
the
done spitting the
ukulele.
fire,
Yeah, with a uke.
after the fire spat, you come back to the beach, right? And then now you have. Now, how did that boost your? That had to have boosted you up to another level in the culinary world. It had to help, as it all does for all of us. Anytime we get some sort of accolade, it helps us to the next level. That right there is that has to have been a huge. Did you get any more response from shows? Did you have?
Well,
What'd you do there?
A couple things happened. Coming back the next day, we had a wedding for Bruce Hornsby's nephew at the Hornsby House in Williamsburg. It was a Mac Daddy wedding, 250 people. I was honestly getting a little teary-eyed on the flight back because there's so much culture. Now, this was in November 2019, so right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And man, there was just so much culture, and I've always wanted to be a Michelin chef, and man, they're never going to come to Virginia Beach. And I'm just like, man, freaking Virginia Beach. That's what you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're in the
but-
same
but
boat as
that-
me, bro.
It lasted for like 1 second because we have the absolute best clientele. We have the best customers. We have the best farmers. They work so hard, and just I think you got to be thankful for where we are. We're not in New York City. Our game in the culinary industry has just grown exponentially, and very honored. We got a lot, so I had a lot to be thankful for. And that show was, definitely a pinnacle in my career.
And it
It
helped put
wasn't a
you-
Michelin star, but it was.
Well, no, but it's huge. I mean, you put yourself on the map, but you also put Virginia Beach on the map. And one of our episodes that we're going to talk about again some point in time is community.
Over
over
community
competition,
over
right?
competition.
So let's talk about that real quick with him. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I
it's very
mean,
important to know. I always feel this. Beard, Michelin, these things don't come to a region unless the region itself is notable, right? So a lot of these people won't come here because of that. And I feel that in our area, as well as other areas that have a lot of great restaurants, great chefs, what the fuck is missing? And I think it's community. The restaurants and the chefs aren't working together as a community. It's an individual competition that outweighs the community.
It is definitely a competition in
And-
BB. And they're like, I don't want to see what you got going on. You can't see what I got. And
Correct.
an oceanfront restaurant, it's like some bullshit frozen crab stuffed flounder.
And not only that,
That's the secret ingredient.
That's your
here in-
secret?
in
Yeah.
BB?
They're gonna pepper sear their ahi tuna and put a wasabi glaze over the top. We all know that. So instead of the restaurants in any town, any area, there's so much competition individually that they're not paying attention to the locality. For instance, there's people, if you do the best of competitions, people don't want nothing to do with it because it's rigged. If you're noticed as for instance, 2024, I was voted best chef of the year of Virginia from the Restaurant Hospitality Commission.
Congrats.
Now, that to me would be something you would hear about. Not one person gives a shit about it. Again, like you, something was brought to Hampton Roads, where it usually goes to Northern Virginia, D.C. area, Charlottesville, right?
Yep.
It's out there in Richmond. It never comes to Hampton Roads. So here we are with this, and it's almost like a competition where people don't want to speak about it because it wasn't them, or it's bullshit, or yeah, right. There's no community of support here.
But
And
you know
I
what,
think we
though?
need to work on that.
What's your community or your people? And look at this right here. This
Yeah.
is a mecca. You're like Kevin Costner, dude, in the Field of Dreams, dude. You built it.
Well,
They are
that's a
here,
fact.
dog.
You build it. They
You built this bad boy, dude.
the
Look at
customers,
this.
like you said before.
Now
the customers are great.
restaurants for sure. There's some jealousy aspects of it. It's like I worked in Charlottesville on the downtown mall before I moved to Virginia Beach, and dude, everybody, they would share sugar, employees, drugs, whatever. They were like just tight.
That's
They were
community I'm
tight.
talking
You know
about.
what I mean?
That's community.
Yeah.
And I'm not obviously not saying that you should share drugs at all, but I am just telling you that the restaurants were tight. That's what
Right.
I'm trying to tell you.
No,
So,
I get it. So that's what I mean. So the community in some places
take that one out.
When
No.
now we sell it. So we sell it, push it. So anyway, we have
Bullshit, huh?
listen, we have the community of people, right? chefs, owners, restaurateurs, they're not working together. And if you don't work together, you're never going to have those people get the interest to come here, because no one from any foundation is going to put their efforts into one thing. If there's one place here that is worth that star, if the area itself isn't worth the stars everywhere else, they're not going to come here. If James Beard is looking for a place that they're going to give someone an award, they're going to go to a place where multiple places have that quality, so they can come back and give another award. They're not going to come for one person. So if you think you're the one person who's going to change the world, you're not. It has to be a community. There has to be involvement in the community. There has to be culinary foundations of our own set up here. There needs to be chef network. There needs to be, like I said, foundations. There needs to be things together that the community works as a.
Well, we need like a round table. We need to be taught. You know, it needs to be like what's tomorrow's the draft, right? We were just talking about the draft. We need to have like an anti-draft of like, don't hire this employee. You know what I mean? Like without having to deal with, without having to deal with any kind of repercussions.
Well, sure,
from the labor board. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's the real of it. Is there's so many fake resumes going around just so they can still collect unemployment. You know, and I mean, I don't even know why I mess with my email anymore, because they'll send stuff in and then they'll never show up.
You have a successful name. If someone comes to me with an Aloha Snacks resume, they were cooking there for 2 years, I'm going to call you directly, check with the guy, make sure that's true. If it is true, I know because he worked for you, he's probably going to have some skill and know something because he gained something from you. Now, people with a Luce resume, fuck you guys, by the way, if you're watching this, so who I'm talking about. You walk out of my restaurant because you don't like something I said to you or you didn't get enough hours. I'm talking about the cooks, right? And they go and they want to be a chef somewhere else. Now, everyone knows Luce resume. Everyone knows that if you worked for me, you probably worked. And if you worked for me for some time, you learned something. People know my name. I have a reputation. But they're not checking with me. They just take it because this guy could be the biggest shitbag there was, or girl could be the biggest shitbag there was, but because they worked for me for a year, they're just going to try and soak anything they can out of that person. And who cares what type of person this is? Who cares why I fired this person? They don't even give a shit. You know, this guy could have robbed me blind. He could have done anything. He could have done anything he wanted in my kitchen, and they wouldn't even know. But because they're so desperate to have anything they can worth a fuck, that they're not going to look into it. Like you said, an anti-draft would have been useful, because I would have told them guys, nope, they did this, and this. They're going to do it to you. Yeah. They ain't worth shit. And just because they worked for me for a year doesn't mean they weren't a pain in my ass for the year.
Yeah, let's get a website and let's throw some names up.
Yeah,
right. I mean, who's the number one draft for not hiring them?
This is like the Facebook group of like, have you dated this guy? That's the big Facebook group here.
Yeah.
So women put pictures of guys on there.
Well,
so
the thing
this
is,
going to
you
be,
said it first.
have you hired this person in the restaurant?
The
that
labor
would
board
be
would look down
so
on this.
helpful.
They would.
But the labor board would look down on this, or some human rights activist or somebody would be mad at this. But again, why the fuck do we have to deal with it? So you're going to protect them, but you're not going to protect us. You're not going to allow us to protect ourselves from hiring these muttonheads, right? But because you don't want to hurt their reputation. They hurt their reputation. I didn't. I'm just telling you what the hell this muttonhead did. Or didn't do, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy's taking pieces of filet out of his fucking out of the walk-in 3 times a week and bringing it home to feed his family. Or once in a while you get 4 lobster tails that just disappear, and you know it's this person. You catch them. Why can't we say to the next person, "Fuck that dude"? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, there's definitely somebody needs to write a book. I mean,
let's do it.
There's definitely some stories, around Hampton Roads.
I have a book in mind. I'm not going to divulge it on here, but I'll tell you when we're done.
Yeah, right.
Chapter
you gotta
2,
copyright that first.
Yeah,
but now let's go on. You are involved with a lot of great things, talking about the community, right? Because we can joke, we can be pissy, we can talk shit, but honestly, there's a factual thing. You have a lot of good things happening in the community of Virginia Beach. Your name is attached to a lot of things, from politics to strawberry festivals to bringing that stuff from the Pungo farms to Virginia Beach oceanfront, which is not close, but it's not far. But it's far enough to be able to bring it to the oceanfront where it is. Pungo and Virginia Beach, from Virginia Beach oceanfront, is a good 20-minute ride.
For sure.
What I mean?
But you had a reason for doing that. Like
Absolutely.
trying to bring it back.
100% community.
Talk about that, man.
Yeah.
That's what we want, man. We want community. We want to be able to have our own events on Laskin Road. There's so many beautiful little shops. I was just in Wayne Jones Flowers. He did my parents' flowers at First Pres when they got married, and he did mine as well. That's how long that guy's been in business.
And it's still there.
Just some cool little places. So we want to bring a festival down there. Like the vibe is an arts. Dude, we're going to be a culinary arts in the artery district. And so we're going to have chefs. We're going to have friends of the artery, you know, from Chesapeake and Pungo, and we're going to bring them in. We're going to have some Mac Daddy competitions.
And people don't know the value of a freaking Pungo strawberry. They don't understand the goodness of this fucking nugget.
Dude, they're popping off right now if you hadn't been getting
Oh,
any.
I've seen the fields. I've seen some
Cullifers
of the stuff
going
online.
off, Flanagan, you know, some of them are pick your own, but
Are they picking? They're not picking quite yet, right?
they're picking.
Oh, no,
They've been
just
picking for
started.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go pick.
Yeah, we need to do
Let's
that.
go pick. We're gonna bring the cameras out. We're gonna
We're
pick
going
these things.
for
We're gonna bring them
strawberries,
back here.
y'all.
Oh, I got
Let's
all
go.
kinds of stuff I want to do.
Dude, that would be so
Okay.
cool to be out there in the fields.
That'd be
Cullifers got like their little chef smackdown, so they're looking for chefs, and you know, we're just trying to create
fun.
something cool, and we're all about
cold
community, and
Strawberry melon gazpacho or something. Oh,
that's
my
it.
He's over on that side now. he's
Food.
he's so
I'm still
distracted
thinking
by
about
the
cooking
food. He's
some.
hungry.
the strawberry capreses,
Yes,
you
oh
know,
my
with
God.
the burrata and the heirloom tomatoes.
Strawberry brodo
Roast-
for a piece of halibut.
They're in food porn land right now.
Strawberry pico, you know.
man.
I'm all over
Just
it.
sous vide some strawberry out with a piece of fish in the bag. Oh my God.
Strawberry
No,
ice
good.
cream. Ugh.
Sorbetto.
Let's get it.
Let's go. I want
So
to.
that's what
I
we
want,
got
I want an
going.
ahi tuna strawberry taco or some shit with you. Come on.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Okay, yeah. Do a little strawberry wasabi glaze, you know.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They're calling.
All I'm thinking about
See
is
how this works?
Yeah, I was just joking because you were saying this, the glaze and the tuna.
I'm funny. I know it's a joke.
Black
You're gonna
pepper,
do it anyway.
Black pepper.
So when is the festival? What's
May
the details
17th.
about that?
May
Okay.
17th, and we've actually got some funding from original Pungo Strawberry Fest.
Okay.
We've raised over $24,000. Ocean Storage is going to be the main presenter. You know, premier
Tickets, no
premier
tickets.
sponsor,
Do
free
people just
event.
come?
Yeah, we got North End Bags. Go on their Instagram, check them out. They just printed some really dope bags. Said picked in Virginia. We got Shave Ice, Get Lost Shave Ice coming out there. We've got all the cool restaurants from Pacifica to Sorello's. Duck Dye's been doing great things.
All great spots.
Nick's,
Yeah.
you know, so Aloha Snacks. We'll have our food truck out there. We've got bands.
And it's all day thing.
We
You
got
guys
bu-
are actually shutting Laskin Road down.
Shutting it down.
Like, so if you do drive to and from the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, you're shutting down the whole street,
Not the
which has not
roundabout.
been done
the
there.
Roundabout down
Maybe
the
ever.
statue.
Now.
Is that what it is? Something
From the
like
roundabout to Pacific.
that? Okay, great.
So yeah, almost a
So
quarter
that's a
mile.
great time. That's
Yeah.
going to be an awesome event.
So fun.
Food driven, local driven,
Love to have you all there.
indigenous stuff. Man.
And then this fall, we're going to do like an oyster roast with some surf music.
Perfect.
You know, we're going to tap the
That's
noblemen.
another
We
deal.
always give
That'd be
back,
fun.
you know. So the big thing for us is, you know, trying to give some awareness to all these farms down in Pungo that are working so hard. And then there's Equikids. So just children with disabilities and then veterans, PTSD. So raising money for Equikids and giving back and having a hell of a party.
That's amazing stuff. So, you know, we can talk all day about this. What would you give to when we start our careers and we get into our cooking, like you said, when you were at Zoe's doing the wine dinners, and we start out, we don't have the business acumen. We start out with the cooking, and we think we want to be owners. We think we want to move on with absolutely zero knowledge of what it takes, right? What do you give to the people who are in that mindset right now? They're at the brink. They've put in the years
Get
of
out.
cooking. Good advice. So,
Save yourself.
so when they want to get
Do
from
you
that
see these
cooking-
gray hairs, guys? Focus in on this.
Right.
All right.
when you want to get out from the cooking,
43, looking like I'm 63.
right? When you get out of that, so that's your advice. It's not wrong. Either get out or realign it. Get into
Well-
something. Owning a restaurant, coming from a chef to owning restaurants, you better understand you are making a lifelong commitment to something you never knew was fucking even possible.
Well, you're right.
It's
I mean,
totally different.
a lot of these kids are in culinary school, and I'm definitely not hating on CIA or CIV or whatever acronym you want to throw out there for a cooking school. But man, when I'm hiring, I'm looking at your resume. I'm not looking at where you went to school, and you're going to rack up so much money. Just if you want something and to be proud, and your mom and dad be proud, and have a piece of paper on your wall, get an associate's degree. You know, I mean, some of these bachelors at CIA are like over $100,000. Man, you're never gonna pay that back.
You can't recoup. You can't recoup $100,000 by cooking. It's hard.
Even at $20 an hour.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, so you want to get out there and you want to grind and be intuitive, be inventive, and create something that can be yours, whether it's a sauce, that's your branding. I mean, the entrepreneurship of this business is the only thing that's going to save you.
And don't cook. My advice to this, I see a lot of young people, including myself back in the day, you cook to impress other chefs. or you cook to impress or compete with Instagram or social media. Fuck all that nonsense. Cook to impress your guests because they're the ones who are putting their faith in you. They're the ones who are giving you or your establishment the money. They're the ones choosing you to come in there. You need to cook to impress them. Look at your room, read your people, see what it is they like. Why do they trust you? And hone in on that. Don't worry about what the chef down the street's doing because he may not be worrying about you. He could be worrying about his guests, and that's why his restaurant is full. Worry about what people trust in you and stop worrying about what people... The chef down the street doesn't fucking matter. He's your competition in a sense, really. He's not paying you. He's getting paid. You're getting paid. Work for what's in your heart and bring it out on the plate. Then work from there. And if you get enough of a following, you may have a chance at opening a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like, what do you mean he's got soft shell crabs with the same strawberry glaze I have?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that does drive you a little bit.
Right.
Though.
Let's fry it. Let's put it on a roll. Let's eat it. We got it, right? So if
And he's doing the same shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
don't worry about that so much. Worry about what you can do different. See what's going on. Don't compete with the guy down the road. Don't do what he's doing or she's doing. Look at what they're doing and figure out how to do it different, better, and more fun and more exciting and have fun doing it. Have fun doing it. You cannot have fun if you're worried about what someone else is doing. You know?
We've said that, like a lot of that in the industry. I mean, again, we've lost it. Like we've lost a lot of the like sex, drugs, and rock and roll of the industry of people just really doing the job because it is fun. It's fun to be out there every night and having different conversations, meeting different people. You meet people every day, like I mean, from all over the country because they all are at the beach and
we love
tourism.
it. We thrive
It's
it,
fun.
you know?
That's
Yeah.
the part that makes you excited to be there.
Absolutely. We want to know how it tastes. We want to see their excitement.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what drives us. I mean, if you're not having fun in this industry, you're definitely like you're a lost puppy out there.
You're in trouble.
I mean, it's not all going to be
People take
great,
it way
but-
too serious. At the end of a shift, you know, all your line cooks, all my guys, we're all hugging it out, you know, going, "Hey, it's all good." It's just that service.
I tried to kill
rush.
you twice today, but it's all right.
You
Don't
said it
mind
right.
that.
People take it way too serious. The executive chefs or the restaurant owners, they have the right to be taking it serious. You don't have to take it so serious to where you can't get stuff done, but you also have to respect the serious of where you are, of course. But when you go home at night, fucking relax. You know, if something goes wrong, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go crazy over it. Don't lose your life. Don't go goddamn get hooked up on heroin because you can't handle your work fucking flow. You know what I mean? Just relax, man. Take a break. Have a drink. Have a shot of tequila. You know what I mean? Pass the Jaeger bottle around if it gets that goddamn bad. You know what I mean?
Amen.
On tap.
Amen to that.
So what do you think about the culinary scene moving forward? I mean, I know we have all the things we've talked about. We have accessibility to ingredients we've never had before. We have accessibility to skills and talents we've never seen before with social media and stuff like that. We have culinary tools now that never existed, something as simple as a fucking microplane that we never had when I was young. These things didn't exist. You were talking about that hard bean salad, and the only thing I was thinking about is what I would do in your position. And while I'm thinking about that is I would literally take my microplane and I would grate these fucking beans over something nicely and consider it a fucking cannellini dust. And that right there alone would have created a flavor of umami that you wouldn't have thought of. Just because of a microplane and a hard bean could change everything, and you can now eat this hard bean and not even know what the fuck it is. And you can call it that. And it would be good. Am I wrong?
It'll beat Bobby. If it'll beat Bobby, you know
That's
what I
what I'm
mean?
saying.
You're on the way.
But these tools that we never had before, you know what I mean? We have little chinois now that we didn't even have back then. You have to hold the China cap.
Look, the health department still doesn't acknowledge sous vide cooking. So, I mean, how far are we really? They look at it as TDZ, you know, time danger zone wonderland.
Of
You know, you
course.
can't. And I'm like,
It's
dude,
pathetic.
it's sous vide. It's been around since the 90s. What are we talking
Sooner than
about?
earlier than that, yeah,
So,
accessible to the 90s.
You know,
Bro, you're exactly right. I mean, there's certain things I do with a
we're
vacuum
behind the
seal
eight ball, I think.
There's things I do that my health department just rags me on that I do with a friggin' cryovac machine or a vacuum sealer. You know what I'm saying? That to infuse flavors. If I want to do a nice melon or a watermelon and want to compress it. So if I do a compressed melon and stuff, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? Yes, I can. Because I did, and it's delicious. And guess what? Everybody
get
loves
me.
it. You're a fucking witch. Get out of here. Go stir your pot with your gruel.
Yeah,
Okay.
the fun police.
Yeah, man. Sorry. You know.
Do you know also that Virginia denied the $600,000 that they were going to have Michelin come down and
Really?
and rate our restaurants?
Really?
It's amazing.
And
Thanks,
what is
Virginia. VA.
Why am I
baby.
not surprised?
Is that Yunkin? I mean, dude, I've loved Yunkin on a lot of things. I think that restaurants should be getting grants, and I don't think there was any help with taxes.
I was looking at
and
grants yesterday on the
Yeah.
fucking website, on the
Were you?
government website, looking for any type of grants that I could do to help progress my staff. I want to help my staff out more. I want to create more avenues for my staff to be enticed to come to work. I want to give them more benefits, and I want to give them more options. So I was on looking for grants yesterday that has anything to do with restaurants, staffing, bonusing, helping people progress into the next, maybe even insurances or education, anything I can offer my staff. Not a fucking thing, nothing. However, if I want to get a grant for, a mud sample of the grass outside, I could get that grant though. You know what I mean? Because it really matters because the architecture or the agriculture, it doesn't, shit that doesn't matter, you get a grant for. But moving someone forward, there's no help in the restaurant industry, none.
Yeah.
Well, I was bummed about the Michelin because, man, although my restaurant would probably obviously not be a Michelin rated restaurant, I think yours would definitely be in contention for that.
We'd have to change some of our
It brings
comfortability.
diners out. So diners would be, more apt to travel from another state to come to,
Sure.
not
Tourism.
just DC, but, Richmond and further south than that. I mean, Charlottesville's got some great places. Hampton Roads has some great places. Tidewater, whatever you want to call it. We don't know what we want to be called.
Well, here's
We're called
the thing.
everything.
We want to give that type of service to our guests,
Yeah.
and we do the best we can here with it. It's not the best we can. We can always do much better. But we're giving it to the actual what makes sense right now. It's hard to run a Michelin staff, a Michelin dining room, Michelin etiquette when Michelin's not an option. It's a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of schooling. It takes a lot of dedication. But if Michelin is not allowed to come here because your area isn't justified, then it's just a lot of everything. And at the end of the day, it's you get discouraged because it's not even
You're
an
putting,
option.
it's not.
So you
gonna
have to
come
back off a
not
little
an option.
bit to give the best of the fine dining at the next level.
Now, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, man, they pay the money. Texas.
Sure.
So now,
Have them come.
now Michelin's going to overpass us and head on down south.
And the money's needed because it's not,
tough.
Michelin is not only about restaurants, and that's where people make the most mistake. Michelin is an area. It's a destination, and the restaurants are a destination in that area. So your area has to be Michelin ready. You have to have hotels worthy. You have to have restaurants worthy. You have to have mechanic shops worthy. They judge and rate multiple things, not just restaurants. So the whole area has to be Michelin approved, right? That's where the money comes in. So even that money doesn't directly go to every restaurant, but it goes to the area to uplift it for the Michelin guide on all subjects.
Exactly.
To make it worthy of Michelin.
Yeah.
The city has to be a Michelin rated city. It's not only about the restaurant. The restaurant is just a little segment that just happens to be the most popular part and the most interesting part of the Michelin guide. But they have fucking tire shops that are in the Michelin guide. That's the whole point of it.
That's how they started.
That's how they started. So it's not only about
It was a
restaurants.
roadmap. It was a roadmap, while you're getting your tires on where to stop and eat.
Sure. So the Michelin area has to be Michelin worthy on all levels.
You
not
mean
just
the
a restaurant.
sensations and the hermit crab sales on the beach aren't going to bring the
I don't know
Michelin?
if the hermit crab
The T-shirts say $20 is $20.
Yeah.
20, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to suck itself. All the
Yeah,
good T-shirts,
exactly,
they're good ones.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot
So
of good ones up
there's
there.
a lot of shit down there, but I'm all for it. And I think that anybody who wants to get a Michelin star or work in that type of environment, it is a totally different game. It's a gastro. It's gastro. It's definitely molecular cooking. There's a whole different style, but it
Level.
definitely could be done here. And I would love to rise up to that if the option was available. Right?
We have the talent here.
Yeah.
We have the talent.
We do have
Yep.
the talent.
And I can't put in the extra money when I know it's not even an extra.
Not
fucking
going to come
option.
back to you. Yeah, that's
So
not. As a
now-
business owner, it's not feasible.
Right now, my Michelin stars are my guests, man. That's what I focus on now, and I'd give them the best of what they expect for where we're at right
Yeah,
now.
true. I agree. I
Amen.
agree.
And
Amen.
that's that.
Yeah, that's
So-
that.
That's that. So we're gonna end it on that, man, because we can keep on going and going and going, but people got to get back to work. Right now, we're getting blamed for fucking people showing up late, taking their break too long because they're listening to this, and it's wonderful. I love it.
Well, I appreciate y'all so much. Everything you do, Chef.
Thank you, man. You too, Chef. I
Kristen, you and your
appreciate
husband, y'all been supporting me since day one.
Always.
And just a shout out to all our listeners, all our followers, this restaurant, mine, other supporters, and diners, just treat people right. I'd love for everybody to go and work retail just 1 week
1 week.
and then tell me, how did that feel?
Yeah.
Tell me.
You know?
Tell me.
You just
Now
sing a little Britney?
I did. Tell me more. Now listen to me.
Tell me why.
Tell them where they can find
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Plug yourself.
yeah.
Where can they get you? Instagram, social media, websites? What do you
Yeah, Aloha Snacks VB. Facebook's pretty much dying. I mean, rarely go on there. I wouldn't check that out.
It's not updated.
But yeah, whatever. Come down to the store. We love to treat you. Some poke, we got a lot of cool things happening on Laskin Road, and obviously there's some cool things happening out here
In Chesapeake,
in
too.
Chesapeake.
The 757 is coming up.
The
It
freak.
is Chesapeake.
The freak's
And
real.
you know where to find us because you already did because you're watching us right now. We appreciate you. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit all the things. Click them buttons. Clack, 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 clack.
I don't know what that was.
That was you clicking. That's you clicking.
I'm like, I can't tap anything. It's not working.
I'm more like-
Whatever. I tried.
All right, y'all. Ciao for
It's
now.
fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, cool.